Hi folks, Russ Jones for Brock International, and today I'm in Plainfield, Indiana, and I'm on a project with Dennis Hayes from Hayes' Outdoor Maintenance. Today's project is going to be a patio that's built right in the middle of a backyard. And what's important here is the soil type. The soil here in Plainfield is very, very similar to Georgia in some ways, and yet it's probably more common for the rest of the United States. And what I want you to see is that Brock works all over the United States, and today's project is going to clearly show how you can excavate the dirt, put down Brock. We're going to build a patio here, we're going to put stone on top of it, and then Dennis is going to build a fire pit right in the middle. So we're going to show you what he's done already. We're going to walk you through the process. For you contractors, this is absolutely the easiest project you'll ever imagine doing. Dennis doesn't have any machines on this job site. We've got one laborer. We've got no diesel. We've got no delivery charges. All the savings that we talk about with Brock are right here on this project. This product's going to be serviced out of Cincinnati by Pavestone Cincinnati. If you guys are interested in finding out more about Brock, go to our website. Sit back, take a look at this video, and I'm going to show you exactly how this project's done in Plainfield, Indiana. Here's something you need to do before you start any project in your backyard that's going to require digging. You need to call your local call dig service. Every reliable contractor will do this because we all know as contractors, if we hit an underground utility without a call dig certificate, we have to pay for it. Free to call, free service, all the utility companies will come out. Very, very important if you do any digging, even if you think you know exactly where they are. This is a little insurance that costs nothing. Every county provides it. Call dig is the number. They'll come out, they'll locate. If you hit something in your backyard and they didn't mark it, they pay for it. You hit something in your backyard and don't have call dig, you could end up paying hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars for repair just because of a simple phone call. We encourage you to, and I'm telling you, it's the best insurance anybody can use, either as a homeowner or a contractor. Call dig. You know, the most remarkable thing about Brock that contractors really, until you've handled it, it's hard to understand. Brock weighs less than 2 pounds per sheet. Ed from Pavestone Cincinnati is carrying 20 sheets of Brock. That's the equivalent of 167 square feet of base. If you had to use a 5-inch crushed run base, Ed just picked up 6,000 pounds of base and carried it from his truck to here in, what would we call that, 15 seconds? Damage to property, 0. You can see here that what we have in this particular area is roughly 300 square feet of base. We've loaded it in a minute, we've carried it by hand, and for you homeowners, this is exactly why Brock is the perfect choice for your backyard, because you're not having to use a shovel, you're not having to deal with the bulk material, you're not having to handle bags of mortar, bags of anything, because Brock takes care of all that. The soil here in Plainfield is very similar in one way to Georgia clay, in that it is clay, but as you can see, it's a much darker clay and it has a little sand in it. Dennis, how would you characterize this type of soil as far as usability? I mean, you're a landscaper. What are some of the things that make it good, and as far as usability?
It's good for compaction. You don't get as much of the spongy soil as you do in the south. And not as much of the sand.
Does it percolate a little bit because of the sand?
A little bit, but I think that the sand helps it. It doesn't hold the moisture quite as well. I mean, it doesn't just get saturated. You know, it dries out a little faster with the sand. But I mean, as far as compaction and for pavers and Flagstone's bases, it's excellent.
Okay, we've been on the job right at 3 hours, start to finish, so you can see that you cover a lot of ground fast with the sod cutter, and Dennis has one helper with him today, so not a big project in terms of labor, which is one of the other things that Brock allows you to do, because if we had to have base, we'd have to have a machine out here, we'd have bulk material, we'd be tearing up the lawn, which we're not doing, and we would have had to have dug down another 5 inches, and this project would be a full day just getting the base and everything prepped. But right now we're just doing a little fine grading and getting it ready. We've got base that'll be here shortly, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in just a minute. Okay, so we've already put down the sand, and the sand was used pretty much to kind of give us a basic leveling sand. Same thing we did in Georgia, same thing we do all the way across the United States. A really important piece of equipment again is that 2x4, and as you can see, taking a 2x4 and just screeding the sand to give us a level base to put Brock on, confirming that we've got a 2 degree, or in this case a 2-inch drop from center to edge, and that's just simply to get our water off the patio. This process takes about 15 minutes. Very important to making a really nice base. We'll put a little sand on top of Brock, and then we're going to put stone on top of the sand, and we will have a beautiful stone patio by day's end. Brock cuts really easy. There it is, and it'll cut. That'll do it. There you go. Just like a big puzzle. We'll be finishing up here in a minute. We'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, we are at the 4.5 hour mark on this project, and we have Brock Paver Base down. What I'm showing you here is the amount of waste that's left over on a 300 square foot job. Now ICPI and ASTM would allow us with a curved patio to have as much as 7% waste. We actually projected that our waste on Brock, as you can see here, our waste is probably on this project in the 2 to 2.5%. Just another reason why Brock will help you manage your cost and make a project more affordable. The materials that we've used to date, you're looking at them, a 4-foot level. As you know from other conversations with me, I'm always going to have a 4-foot level on my job site. A hand tamp, a number 2 scoop or a square face shovel. We've got a rake, basic wheelbarrow, and a 2x4. To pull our measurements, we use a line, which you can buy at any hardware store. Basic 2-pound, 3-pound mallet, 35, 25-foot measuring tapes, no big deal. But what you're seeing here is in 4.5 hours, we've completely excavated our entire patio area. It's a total of right at 12 foot in diameter. You can see our grade stakes in the middle. This project is ready to have stone. We'll show you the end result. Overall, Dennis, how has the Brock performed for you today?
I absolutely love it. It's saved us an absolute ton of time. There's no way we'd be where we're at on this project by now without using Brock.
Well, and there's no machines out here. I mean, one of the things
I'm not running, $4 a gallon diesel fuel all day. I don't own a skid loader, so I'm not having to go rent one. So that saves me just a ton of money, and along with just time. We'd still be putting our base down right now if it wasn't for.
I mean, it's 100 degrees out here, and yes, we're at about the 7.5 hour mark on the project, but we got a lunch, so we're really only about 7 hours into this project.
And a lot of breaks. It's been pretty hot, so we've had a lot of water breaks in between.
Yeah, so I mean, even though this project may take a day and a half, maybe 2 days, right, just because of the heat, still a great project when you consider the amount of time that we got in it.
Absolutely. It's like I said, it saved me. It's gone from probably a 3-day project to a 2, maybe a 2.5 day, but that's the finished touches of the fire pit and everything else. But as far as
you're a day ahead. Would you agree? You're a day ahead of schedule.
Easily a day ahead of schedule.
That's what we want to hear.
We're a 2-man crew. If I had
in 100-degree temperatures.
In 100-degree temperatures. So it saved me a ton of time.
Good job. Took a day and a half with 2 men working on this. So easily a day ahead of schedule, and you can see that Dennis is in the process of building his fire pit. But Brock was put down same way here. Used gator dust. And Dennis has put a decorative edge on it. It looks great. Once again, another successful Brock job. Quick, easy, lightweight, easy to handle, cut, and you can just be as creative as you want. And Brock's going to produce a perfect result every time. Good luck on your project. To find out more about Brock, go to brockpaverbase.com. Give us a call.